So some of you I know are having a bit of a struggle with the time it takes to upload your Photoshop files into the Google Drive. Google Drive can handle all of those file sizes, but I know that depending on your internet connection, it can take quite a long time. So here's a suggestion if you want to reduce the files, the size of the files, but still leave the layers in. And I just want to walk you through it, because what you don't want to do is save this file as a JPEG or do anything like that that's going to compress it, because then it will also take away all of the layers. So I've got this rather massive file that I've been working on, this Photoshop document, which is actually not even a Photoshop document. It is a PSB, which is actually Photoshop Big. I know, it's the most ridiculous name, but this is actually a different format of file that Photoshop will, and some of you have already encountered it. If your file gets too big, it'll say I can't save it as a PSD, it has to be a PSB, a large document file. So this is really massive. It actually is, let's go ahead and take a look. It is about 4.79 gigs. It's really big. And this would probably take an hour or so to upload into Google. So in order to minimize the file without losing the layers, I'm just going to go up here, and I can do this a couple of ways. I think it's going to be less time if I do the change first and then do a save as, but the really important thing is that after you minimize the file, don't save it, do a save as, because you want to keep this massive file size. So let me be very careful myself. You want to go up to image size, and this will tell us exactly how big this is. Actually, I guess it's just 1 gig. And you can leave the resample on. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, instead of it being 50 by 40 inches, I'm just going to test, and I'll make it, oops, we don't want that. I'm going to make it 10 inches. This makes it 40 megs. That is much more reasonable. It's going to make it much smaller though, so I need to be very careful once I do this that I don't save this file. I want to go ahead and reduce the file size. Now this is going to take a little while because it's a bigger file, but it'll save you a lot of time uploading it into Google. However, the next step is really, really important, because you want to save that original file size in a separate file. La-di-da-di-da-di-da. Now the other way to do this is to go ahead and do a save as, but then you have to save the entire large document twice. And I think that will take a little bit more time. Let's just see. Here we go. Almost getting there. La 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 la. I need a little cooking show magic here, but this is just a quick video, so I'm going to go ahead and let it go. Come on now. I should have tried this with a slightly smaller document, but this will give you an idea of how long it could go. Okay, and you can see this is it's much smaller on the screen. It really is a pretty decent sized file. If I go ahead and do a Command 0, you can see it still looks pretty good, and it still has all the layers. I'm going to do a save as, and I'll save it on my computer. Just put it somewhere where you know where it is. I'm going to call this Small Birds, just so I remember. And I can actually make it a Photoshop document, and we can make sure that that is saved there. It can be a Photoshop document now because it is no longer has to be a PSB. So it's saving it up here, much smaller, and you can see that all the layers are still intact. That is going to take maybe 5 minutes to upload to Google instead of hours and hours. Okay, so just a suggestion if you want to save some time uploading things to the Google Drive. Just be very careful that you don't make a permanent image size change on your image. Okay, have fun.